Throughout our videos here on Rebel Economics, we have talked about franchises time and time again. When they're done right, they can be incredible propellers of success. Creating a franchise with loved characters and keeping that emotional bond going over many years is no easy feat. But there are many successes that we can look at, and many that we have looked at already, like our video on why Pokemon is the most profitable franchise in the world, or the economics of Hello Kitty, which is the second most profitable franchise globally, or the flexibility of the Super Mario franchise. Disney is also a strong builder of franchises, first and foremost thanks to the MCU, which has become synonymous with our understanding of cinematic universes. Thanks to the interconnected characters of the MCU, it can prop up characters which on their own would not be so popular, like Ant-Man for example. The same is true for Disney's other most popular franchise, Star Wars. More shows are being released now, taking place in the Star Wars universe than ever before. So, having talked plenty about other franchises, today I want to look at some of the most popular infinite video game franchises. We will see how they deal with ongoing storylines or alternate universes, to understand how these games can go on forever and how they manage to continue to be so beloved by many players. Welcome to Rebel Economics and today's video on infinite video game franchises. I know there are plenty to choose from, but for now I want to look at Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, and FIFA. Why those three, you ask? It's simple. I wanted the most popular and most interesting ones. So out of the ones with the most sold copies, there were only few that could compete, like Pokemon or Mario, which we already have videos about, and well, Tetris, which sold a whopping 495 million copies. But let's be honest, no one wants me to talk about Tetris here. So, out of the three games we have, FIFA is in third place with 325 million copies sold, followed by Grand Theft Auto with 385 million sales, and the winner, Call of Duty, which has sold 425 million copies. So, let's start on top. Let's start with Call of Duty, the newest and most successful franchise. It started out in 2003, whereas the other two were already on the markets in the 90s. The success of the COD franchise is quite incredible. As of April 2021, the series has sold over 400 million copies. It releases year after year, hit blockbuster level sales, and it even has a Guinness World Records title as the best-selling first-person shooter game series. Overall, it is the fourth best-selling video game franchise of all time, so its popularity cannot be contested. But today, we will look at why this franchise is so popular. From the outside, it seems absolutely staggering that people would buy the newest COD game year after year. After all, in each of the games, you have a map, a gun, and people to shoot. So why bother with a new game? How can COD keep producing hit after hit with essentially the same game? Admit it, you kind of want to crucify me right now, don't you? Well, hold on for a second. Because while from the outside it may seem that way, if you play the games, you do actually play a story and go through the evolution of warfare and get to experience different settings to fight in. COD started with the Second World War, moving on to the Modern Warfare series and then to the Black Ops arc. So there definitely is an evolution going on in the games, where the era in which you play significantly changes the type of warfare you experience. In the very first game, you take part in infantry and combined arms warfare of World War II, experiencing the story in three parts: the British, the American, and the Soviet campaign. Being a timepiece, the creators stayed authentic to the weapons available at the time, with handguns, machine guns, and grenades. Beyond telling a compelling story of World War II heroes, making the player feel like he is part of that heroism, Call of Duty included many innovations, introducing the first set in its first game and continuously evolving and revolutionizing first-person shooter games. The first game, for example, introduced the Iron Sight feature, allowing the player to aim down the gun's actual sights for increased accuracy. Another feature, Shell Shock, was introduced. meaning that characters would experience the symptoms of a soldier too close to an explosion, like simulated tinnitus, appropriate sound muffling effects, blurred vision, and not being able to sprint. This made the gameplay a lot more immersive, giving the players a more true-to-life experience than other FPS games did. Throughout the series, COD tried to improve player experiences, modifying many aspects of the game. It refined controls, had an improved heads-up display and camera system, and a radical new approach to setting and storytelling in shooters. So that's a whole lot they did right straight from the beginning to revolutionize FPS gameplay. Once the single-player mode was improved, they also kept working on improving multiplayer networking and have continued to set the gold standard for the base infrastructure of FPS online play. This attracted players from veterans of gaming to newcomers. With objectives and campaigns, there was a smooth run-through of the game, having to complete all objectives to advance to the next mission. This attracted many who were new to FPS games and new to video games itself. With a reputation for immaculate gameplay and intriguing stories, COD built itself a sturdy foundation and a good reputation. But the games were not without controversy. The No Russian mission in Modern Warfare 2 was heavily criticized for the players taking part in a terrorist attack, experiencing a massacre of civilians. In Black Ops, the character killed the then Cuban president Fidel Castro, causing plenty of outrage as glorifying illegal assassination attempts the United States government planned against the Cuban leader. Or in Modern Warfare 3, which included similarities to 7/7 bombings in London as part of the gunfight took place in the London Underground. Why is this important? Well, because people love scandals, and when everyone tells you that a part of a game is particularly shocking, you can bet that more and more people will want to play it. It's essentially free publicity for the game. No one wants just another FPS game, they want the ultimate one, and COD has earned itself the title. So, what is COD's secret to people always wanting more? They really hit the trifecta with amazing gameplay innovations, winning it an amazing reputation, meaning that people keep wanting to see the new items included in the newest game. Secondly, the multiple viewpoints within the game keep players entertained throughout. Third, the changing context of the games also keeps it interesting, moving from the Second World War to more modern fighting techniques to completely futuristic, including robots. And, well, fourth, veterans of the game are rewarded by seeing characters of previous games reappearing, creating a red thread with the various installments of the games. Now, compared to COD, which released a total of 19 games over the 20 years of its existence, the next Infinite franchise cannot compete in frequency. In fact, since 2013, there has been no new game released, though its fans are crossing their fingers that the decade of waiting will finally pay off. Of course, I'm talking about GTA. Since 1997, only 7 main games have been released, with the newest one having been confirmed to be in development. And despite this, it still is one of the video game franchises with the highest sales in the world, meaning it is definitely worth having a look at, even if the franchise has been slacking off recently. So, for all those who have been living under a rock, what is Grand Theft Auto? The core of it is being an open world game, with missions and side quests mainly revolving around driving and shooting, but also including the occasional role-playing and stealth elements. The goal is to rise through the ranks of organized crime, progressing through the storyline while committing a myriad of crimes, from street racing to assassinations. Overall, the games are split into 3 separate fictional universes, namely 2D, 3D, and HD, with only brands, place names, and background characters shared between them. Contrarily to COD, where missions have to be completed to reach the next level, GTA is an open world, giving players the freedom to roam and explore, with a few exceptions of certain missions having to be completed to unlock new areas of the map. And this freedom is what draws many players to GTA. One day you may feel like going for a drive along a beautiful shore, the next you decide to steal cars and beat up people. It is like a world with endless possibilities. But the really great part about it is that not just the things are impossible in the real world can be done, but the perfectly mundane ones can be done as well. Yes, the thrilling part may be about crime, but you can also do yoga, go to therapy, and smoke pot on the couch. These real-life activities blend in seamlessly with the world that GTA creates, because while it technically takes place in a fictional world and fictional cities, everyone can recognize Liberty City as New York, San Andreas as San Francisco, and Vice City as Miami. All these things create a feeling of involvement, which a game that is purely about driving fast and killing would not be. It makes it feel real in many ways that it otherwise just wouldn't, and creates a link between you and those places. One day you may be on the golf course swinging the club, and the next day it might be your escape route from the cops. The changes in pace make the game seem realistic to a whole new level. It allows players to go to a real place to do the things that they would never really do. This also means that players are excited not just for the new missions and the new storyline, but also for the reshaped cities that players already feel connected to. Plus, of course, the continuously improved graphics, which make the environments feel even more real. So lastly, let's talk about FIFA. It has released an astounding 38 video games since its inception in 1993. That means not only did they release one game per year like clockwork, but also special games for World Cups and the so-called Street Series. So how come a game about football is so popular? One core of it is that football itself is immensely popular as a sport. People all over the world follow the World Cup, the Champions League, and their own local clubs. Football is one of the most popular sports in the world, so why shouldn't that translate to a video game? It gives people the chance to actively participate in a game that they would otherwise just be spectators in. Now yes, they could go out and actually play football themselves. But let's not kid ourselves, it's way easier to turn on the PlayStation than to find 21 other people who are willing to play right now. Plus, this way you get to play as your favorite stars like Messi or Ronaldo. The goal of the game is to let people feel as close to the sport, the teams, and the individual players as possible. As such, there is also a career mode, allowing players to climb the ladder of football history themselves. They get to choose to be either a manager, taking care of a football club, or as of FIFA 2022, you can even create your own. Your success will be dependent on your successes in matches, but also the financial aspects and brand exposure, for example. Or you can be a young and upcoming player who wants to prove himself in the world of professional football, mastering the various skills needed to become a football god. And feeling close to your idols is exactly why the new games are so important. It allows you to play as new additions to the team, or new teams entirely, which is not possible in earlier games. FIFA, for example, even includes teams from the second Bundesliga in Germany, meaning that those are in part really local teams that you can play as. The idea that someone in India, Nigeria, or Argentina may randomly select my local football team is just absolutely astounding to me, and part of why people love the FIFA games so much and choose to invest in the newest game each and every year. Thank you so much for watching Rebel Economics and my delve into infinite video game franchises. Each franchise, COD, GTA, and FIFA, have created their very own structures which have people fall in love with them and keep coming back for each new release. They really have accomplished to hone in on the fun parts of gameplay, by also creating an emotional bond to the players, be it through the heroism of COD, the amazing mixture of mundane life and crime in GTA, or the closeness to our favorite football stars in FIFA. If you enjoy our content, then please like and subscribe. We're so excited to share our content with you, so seeing appreciation really means the world. And why not check out more of our content right now? Thanks for watching, and see you soon here in Rebel Economics.